Hi everyone, hope you're well. I've done a card read for this week, but I also just want to start by talking a little bit more about malachite. I mentioned this crystal, this green crystal last week, but I ordered some this week, some beads, and made this bracelet you can see in the picture out of them. And I wore it during the week, and this is what I've observed. Malachite brings self-confidence and self-reliance. It dissolves anxiety and fear. It brings in opportunities like Jupiter. So Jupiter's the planet of big things and growth and opportunity, and Malachite has that sort of feeling. And it also helps you take control of situations. It's very strong crystal. I did find a few times I was wearing it, I had to take it off and then put it back on. So it's malachite, not moldavite, which is that really expensive crystal, but malachite. Okay. The thing with crystals is that they adjust to you and you adjust to them when they're new. So the idea of entrainment is used with crystals, and that's the idea that two different things have different frequencies, and the object or the person with the lower frequency will have their energy raised to that of the higher frequency. And the idea is that crystals have a high frequency, so when we work with them, our own frequency is lifted to that of the crystal. Most crystals will, some won't, but you'll be drawn to what's right for you because all different crystals have different qualities at different points. So that is malachite. You might be interested in that for yourself. And remember, you don't have to spend lots of money and buy crystals. As I say, it's good to have the crystal, but you can just tune in by looking at a picture as well. So, coming up in astrology this week, we've got the beginning of Mercury retrograde shadow on the 29th of April. So, Mercury retrograde, it's the planet of communication and technology. So, they're the sorts of things that go backwards in the 3-week retrograde. We've also got a 2-week shadow where it's not actually moving backwards but standing still before and after the retrograde. And I find them just as strong. So I'm going to be just doing a few orders and organizing some things and tying up some loose ends before the 29th, things I don't want affected by Mercury retrograde. It can be a good thing as well, but just something to bear in mind. We've also got the big new moon eclipse on the 30th of April. So things to think about around next weekend are what shifts and changes are occurring for you in what area of your life and what new thing is being triggered. So this eclipse is about something new. And with it being followed by retrograde, you might get an idea for a big change or something you want to reassess and then spend a few weeks researching and reflecting on that and coming out, in about 2 months' time with a really clear idea of what you want. So that would be a good way of using the retrograde energies. Okay, then I moved on to the cards. So as I was shuffling, I was getting a lot of intuitive messages just shuffling. So I'll drop those in as I explain the message from the cards. First of all, as I shuffled, I got the messages, everything must change and grow and move forward. And also this week, don't fall into a pit of fear. If you feel yourself sinking down into sort of fear, worry, and depression, laugh. Try and laugh it off. I know that's not always appropriate or easy, but it can help. Also, the message that you're going to develop a new angle on something you already do that's already established, so like a new branch to the tree. Then the first card was the Ten of Wands. So that's asking what is exhausting you. And it's saying maybe it's time to end that chapter, or at least begin to reflect on the possibility of ending that chapter, or maybe how you can adapt a situation or an activity so you're not so burdened and exhausted. And to remember, you're not a machine. It's no way to live. Finish what you started, but then go on a new journey, a new chapter that's slightly less onerous if you've been feeling that way. And it's also saying if you've been in something long term or a big project or something, you're nearly there. Then I shuffled again and got the message to tell people do something nice for yourself. It might be an activity or an event you go to or buying something. It doesn't have to be big or expensive, just buying something to remind yourself that you deserve it. I've done that a bit this week and it's made me really happy, and you might as well. Then we've got Three of Swords. So Three of Swords came out with the Four of Pentacles. Three of Swords is about emotional pain. Can sometimes indicate a house move. So not for everybody, but sometimes. It's saying to move through the pain and remember that it's weather and it will come and go. But just remember to not take it any deeper than you need to. Then we've got the Four of Pentacles, which is about holding on. So he's holding on to all this money and material things. It's a sense of being frozen with pain and worry and fear. So these first three cards are really showing me that there's a lot of pain and anxiety out there. It's really showing up in the cards. However, it is minor arcana. This whole reading is minor arcana, which are the cards about day-to-day life. There's no major arcana, which are the big long-term influences and themes. So I think these cards just embody what we've all been through recently. So there's the exhaustion and the emotional pain and the fear and anxiety for the future. So then I asked, okay, that's where we're at. What's coming up? And it was nice to see the card of victory, Six of Wands. So it's saying that that time is over that caused us to feel those feelings and we survived it. And it's saying, be proud that you survived it, but head up like he is on the horse there. Go forwards, move on, look ahead and keep moving. Don't stay stuck in any of those emotions from the first part of the reading. And don't let the pain of that time overshadow the future. And also it's saying again, be proud of yourself for what you've been through. And that's done. We've got the green shoots on the wands in the Six of Wands here. And that again shows the energy of the new. And you can't have the new come in unless there's a space for it. So you need a space, physical space in your life, in your thoughts, in your emotions for that new to come in. Okay, then if we look at the cards on the bottom row, I got the Two of Wands and the Five of Pentacles together. So Two of Wands, he's got the wands, those green shoots are there again, and he's holding the globe, which is the world, possibilities, and he's looking out to sea. And then Five of Pentacles is about being out in the cold, about suffering and being excluded. So this is saying that after pain and being shut out in the cold and not able to do things or go to certain places because of who you are and choices you've made, you can now look out into the world again and do it with a sense of positivity and possibility and look to the future and just move on from that pain and just see it as another chapter that you lived through. And you're now looking out into the world with new, wiser eyes and a wiser, more insightful attitude that perhaps you wouldn't have had if you hadn't gone through the suffering. So if you can, if you're ready to, turn it around to your advantage. Okay, and I know that does take time sometimes. Then the last card, I was shuffling, and it's funny, my door to my room kept opening this morning about 5 or 6 times. I do have the window open slightly, but normally even like that, it doesn't open. It'd open, I'd close it, open, I'd close it. So I think there's something in that. Open the door. Okay, allow the door to open. If that means something to you, that message is for you. Then we got the Eight of Wands. Again, we've got the wands with the green shoots. So this is this spring energy, this newness. This has been coming in since the equinox. And again, it's saying allow the new, allow the fresh things, activities, and ideas into your life. It's time. Okay, it's time. Things are speeding up. Things will start to happen quickly. So, day-to-day kind of stuff and feelings. I think there'll be some more themes and issues coming up. I'll do a read next weekend that covers the eclipse and also May and June, just slightly longer look ahead. As I was putting the cards away, I did spot the Emperor, which is about leadership. So it might be interesting to look at the elections happening around the world. I know France has an election today. There's one in Australia in May. So interesting to see changes that may come up in leadership. And also think about not just in politics in the world, but in your own life, what actually are the qualities of a leader, a good leader? What does that look like? Okay, so there are all the messages for this week. Thank you for listening, and I will talk again soon. Bye-bye.